Hey everyone, welcome back to Sparrow's Ticker Notes. Today we're looking at something that honestly feels like it came out of two completely different timelines colliding. On one side, you have a Bitcoin mining company. On the other side, you have a 320 megawatt AI infrastructure project in Toronto, targeting something like 100,000 GPUs. And if you're thinking, wait, isn't that a bit of a jump? Yeah, that's exactly the point of this video. Because the headline here isn't just the size of the project. It's the transformation story hiding underneath it. So here's the simple question. Why is a Bitcoin miner suddenly trying to build a hyperscale AI campus? HIVE was traditionally all about mining Bitcoin, chasing cheap power, and optimizing hash rates. Now suddenly we're talking sovereign AI infrastructure and enterprise workloads in Toronto. That's not a pivot. That's a completely different species of company. And the market is trying to figure out whether this is real transformation or just aggressive rebranding. Spoiler, it might be both. Let's strip away the narrative and just look at the facts. HIVE announced 320 megawatts of planned capacity in the Greater Toronto Area, operated under Buzz HPC, with roughly 3.5 billion Canadian dollars in investment. Potential capacity exceeds 100,000 GPUs, targeting around 2027 and beyond. This is not a pilot project. This is hyperscale language. And hyperscale usually means demand is already there or already being prepared. Let's put this into perspective. 10 megawatts is a small AI inference cluster. 50 megawatts is a solid regional deployment. 100 megawatts is already large-scale infrastructure. But 320 megawatts, that's not a data center anymore. That's an AI factory. And the interesting part is HIVE didn't gradually scale into this. They jumped straight into hyperscale thinking. If this was just about cheap electricity, it wouldn't be in Toronto. But it is. And that changes everything. Toronto means enterprise customers, financial institutions, healthcare systems, and government adjacency. This is not mining logic anymore. This is low-latency AI economics, or AI gravity. Old HIVE was Western Canada, cheap hydro, remote mining sites. New HIVE is Toronto Corridor, enterprise AI, sovereign compute positioning. That is not evolution. That is a rewrite of the company's identity. And markets often struggle here because they still price the old version. Sovereign AI just means countries want domestic AI compute capacity. They want control over data, inference, and infrastructure. Customers include governments, banks, healthcare systems, and regulated enterprises. In short, the boring industries that actually pay. HIVE claims it secured major power milestones. And in data centers, power is the real bottleneck. Not GPUs, not land, power. Interconnection queues can take years. So this likely means either early positioning or long, quiet preparation. This is speculative. There is discussion about Bell Canada's involvement in the Buzz HPC ecosystem. Nothing confirmed. But telecom companies often become the backbone of sovereign AI infrastructure. So the market is connecting dots, sometimes correctly, sometimes creatively. Why build a $3.5 billion AI campus without demand visibility? Projects like this usually need anchor tenants or pre-commitments. Otherwise, financing becomes extremely difficult. So the question is, speculative build-out or prearranged demand? HIVE used to talk about hash rate and mining fleets. Now it talks about AI factories and sovereign compute. Companies don't change language for fun. They change it when they want a different valuation universe. The market is trying to reprice what HIVE actually is. Old model, crypto miner. New model, AI infrastructure operator. That's a completely different valuation framework. Risks include financing, GPU supply constraints, grid delays, construction complexity, and execution risk. And importantly, power allocation does not mean operational infrastructure. Announcement and reality are very different things. Zooming out, this is not just a company story. Countries are building sovereign AI capacity and domestic compute layers. HIVE is positioning itself in that gap between geopolitics and infrastructure. HIVE may still be viewed as a mining company, but it increasingly looks like an AI infrastructure platform, emerging in Canada's sovereign compute ecosystem. Whether it succeeds is still unknown, but the identity shift is already happening. That's it for today on Sparrow's Ticker Notes. If you enjoyed this breakdown of AI infrastructure and data center strategy, subscribe for more. And let me know, is HIVE still a miner or something much bigger now? Quick disclaimer: this video is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Some parts include speculation and interpretation of public data. Always do your own research before investing. Markets are messy. Narratives move faster than fundamentals. Thanks for watching.